Captain Forrest here. In today's video, I'm going to be going over both of these combatants to see who would win more often than not in an inverse situation. Beast versus Nightcrawler. If you guys are new to my channel, please leave a like, comment down below, and of course subscribe for further content. But anyway, I'm going to go ahead and talk about both these combatants, talk about their stats, abilities, and all that good jazz, and then I'll break it down near the end of the video and give my thoughts on who I think wins more often than not in an inverse situation. So right off the bat, Beast himself has feats of him fighting Wolverine and being able to physically damage and overpower Wolverine at certain points. This very same Wolverine has a feat where he was able to tank a massive explosion, and this feat was calced around the mountain level ranges of attack potency, which is very impressive. Shoutouts to KKrimbus for calcing this as well, much appreciated. So easily from the scaling that I've given you guys from Wolverine and to Cyclops, you can get them easily around city. There's some mountain level stuff now. That's also an upgrade you can also apply to some of these street tiers, and Beast himself would scale to these ranges very easily. So things like large town level, these street tier-esque scaling and feats easily, they all scale to that. Now moving on to speed, Beast easily scales to Wolverine. Of course, he can react to Wolverine and react to some of his other X-Men members. Wolverine himself, he can dodge Cyclops' optic blast, which was calced around the 2 times speed of light, aka FTL. So right there and there, Beast has some FTL reaction speed, and Beast himself was actually able to react to something on a nanosecond. Beast consistently has faster than light reaction speed, very impressive. So anyway, that's going to wrap up Beast's stats. I'm going to go ahead and move on and talk about the rest of what he brings to the table. Before Beast became the blue furry mutant that we all know and love, Beast's former appearance was originally more human-like with some mutant features, such as having big hands and big feet. But despite those eccentric features, Beast's mutant powers bestow upon him superhuman strength, speed, reflexes, agility, and acrobatic prowess. He is an adept at performing complex acrobatic maneuvers. He can walk on his hands alone for hours. He has great dexterity with his hands and feet. He incorporates them both, such as catching Captain America's shield with his feet alone. And as for skill, Beast is known to be one of the best brawlers, as he's shown to use pressure points, and his skills are above the animal kingdom itself, which is absolutely impressive. Now, more on to Beast's transformation. Over the years, Beast has underwent different mutations, which make him more feral and increasing his overall abilities. In fact, this, in a way, is a great thing, as Beast's hearing is 10 times that of a normal human, and has enhanced sense of smell, which allows him to detect a goon who is hiding in ultraviolet rays, which make them virtually invisible to the naked eye. With this change of mutant physiology, he also comes with sharp claws. He's demonstrated dirty tactics with his claws, such as clawing off his opponent's eyeballs. And just like Wolverine, Beast can also switch and fight on pure instincts alone. Beast also has an accelerated healing factor, allowing him to heal from injuries, such as regenerating from bullet wounds instantly. Beast has some really good endurance feats, such as taking hits from a suppressed Hulk and taking a hit from Juggernaut, and also staying in the game after being blasted by electricity. Beast is very intellectual, as Beast reads a lot and knows a lot of subjects such as English, Shakespeare, Plato's theory, music, art, law, philosophy, etc. And Beast also has an amazing set of vocabulary. Beast is a great inventor and is always tinkering around with machinery to create things such as a noiseless popcorn bag opener. Lastly, when it comes to combat, Beast is quite smart. He was able to deduce a way to blind a hostile robot by destroying its antenna. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and start off with Nightcrawler's attack potency. So Nightcrawler scales around city block, multi-city block to even town level. Nightcrawler has hurt Spider-Man and has damaged Beast, and has harmed trolls who are comparable to Beast. This is all impressive because we can also get Nightcrawler to even potentially the mountain level ranges, since he's able to damage Beast. Wolverine himself has his own mountain level feat where he was able to tank an explosion, which is calced around the mountain level ranges. Shouts to KKrimbus for calcing this feat. So we can also bunk up Nightcrawler to potentially even the mountain level ranges of attack potency. I've seen Spider-Man casually beat up Deadpool. Deadpool himself has some multi-city block feats. Deadpool has survived an explosion that was calced around multi-city block level, and the town level scaling comes from the time where Spider-Man was able to take an explosion which was calced around town level, and as displayed, Nightcrawler can hurt or suppress Spider-Man, and this Spider-Man was also casual too when he took this. So that's some pretty good ranges. That's going to round up AP for Nightcrawler. I'm going to go ahead and move on to speed. So as for speed, Nightcrawler is easily FTL. He's shown to react to Wolverine in combat. Wolverine is able to react to Cyclops' Optic Blast. This feat was calced around 2 times the speed of light, and shoutouts to Hellfire Productions for making this calculation. Much appreciated. Okay, so that's going to round up all of Nightcrawler's stats. I'm going to go ahead and move on over to Nightcrawler's mutant gifts. So Nightcrawler's mutant power allows him to perform teleportation. He can use teleportation to blitz around his opponents, or correct his posture and positioning, or make them dizzy and disorientated by teleporting them around constantly. In fact, the brimstone that is caused when Nightcrawler teleports can make you dizzy and pass out if exposed to it for too long. Nightcrawler can teleport foes to cities, to even outer space. He can also teleport them to different dimensions too. Nightcrawler's teleportation also negates durability, as Nightcrawler has shown to teleport different parts of a person's body off. He can also teleport people inside inanimate objects to immobilize them. Nightcrawler can teleport you in the air and let you fall to your death. He can also make good use of the environment, such as teleporting and dropping his opponents into hazards such as spikes. Nightcrawler has trained himself countless weeks in the X-Men's mansion and in the Danger Room to combat foes comparable to, if not with superior fighting skills such as Beast and Wolverine in hand-to-hand. Nightcrawler can perform pressure point strikes, and he's also used this ability to move around and pretty much accurately hit targets too. Nightcrawler can also hit vital points on his targets with weapons. He will also attempt to disarm his opponents too if they use their weapons against him. Nightcrawler also makes great use of his tail, as he uses it as a third arm to grab people, objects, or to use it to wield weapons. Due to Nightcrawler's mutant physiology, he is naturally gifted with agility and acrobatics. He is virtually invisible while hiding in dark places. He can also see in the dark and also climb up walls. Overall, Nightcrawler is an exceptional mutant who is gifted in the arts of teleportation. He is well respected by his fellow mutant team members. In fact, Cyclops at one point even made Nightcrawler the leader of the X-Men during his brief departure from the team. He's demonstrated his tactical prowess in combat, such as deducing a weakness and a flaw with Mimic, and combined his teamwork and execution to neutralize the enemy. So that's going to wrap up both these combatants. I'm going to go ahead and give my thoughts on who I think wins more often than not in an inverse situation. So looking at both Beast and Nightcrawler, they have similar feats in terms of AP and in terms of inverse. They both would scale to the street tier ranges, so anywhere from like city, you can even get them to mountain. So it's definitely, they're on a table. You can argue them being somewhat relative, and they can both hurt each other, as shown in the video with the scans of Nightcrawler being able to damage Beast. Now, how would the fight actually go down? So it's actually very close. Nightcrawler, his best advantage against Beast is his agility, his mutant powers, allowing him to teleport and poof around the battlefield. He also has the environment, which is one of his advantages as well. He can also use that to grab Beast, teleport him to another place. He can literally BFR Beast and leave him somewhere stranded. He can leave him in an area where he would be in danger of any hazards or natural causes, or he could simply teleport him in the sky and drop him, or teleport him through the ground, or phase his head through a wall, which would kill Beast. Now we need to go off in character. Nightcrawler will not start off doing that type of stuff. Typically likes to teleport around his opponents, and he tries to attack them and surprise attack them and sneak them with teleportation, and he will use his skill and weaponry to deal damage to his opponent. And he is very heavily reliant on his agility, his speed, his nimbleness. The whole point of Nightcrawler's game is to basically disorientate the opponent and trip them up, and if the opponent, depending on who he's facing, is too much of a threat, he will try to use BFR tactics. He will start to utilize his mutant powers a lot more strategically and tactically. Now when it comes to Beast, the best going for him in this fight is his AP. If he gets his hands on Nightcrawler, if he's able to actually do some serious damage, he could take victory. He definitely has the AP to literally rip apart Nightcrawler if Nightcrawler is not careful. Also, Beast, he has his enhanced senses. His instinctive reaction operates on instincts. He's very similar to Wolverine in that sense, the animalistic side of him, obviously minus the adamantium claws and the healing factor. So he doesn't have like certain things on Wolverine's like level. He's quite lackluster in that regard. However, we've seen them fight. We've seen Nightcrawler fight Beast, and Nightcrawler has shown to pretty much overwhelm Beast when it comes to speed. Beast can't put his hands on him. Beast is just a little too slow when it comes to their fights, and Nightcrawler literally uses Beast's own momentum against him in battles. And in their encounter when Beast was mind controlled and bloodlusted, literally Nightcrawler was holding back the whole time because he was trying to reach Beast and he wasn't trying to kill him. There is another scenario with Nightcrawler when he's up against the X-Men who were all mind controlled by Shadow King, and we literally see Nightcrawler and his training throughout, you know, all his years training in the danger room. He literally demonstrates it on the battlefield, fighting against a mind-controlled Beast, Storm, Colossus, and a telepath Rachel. And we literally see him use all his tactics and strategic prowess in action, dispatching of Rachel, getting rid of the telepaths, because if the telepaths get off their haxes, he's done for. He takes out Rachel. He's able to avoid attacks from Beast. He was able to damage Beast, avoid attacks from Iceman. Colossus can't touch him. Colossus is pretty quick as well when he's in his organic steel state. So Nightcrawler is actually very nimble. Now there's the argument about, you know, what about Nightcrawler and his fights with Wolverine? Yes, Nightcrawler would lose to Wolverine, but it all comes down to context and how. And, you know, how would Nightcrawler lose to Wolverine and what would the difficulty be? We notice that with Wolverine, when he lost his healing factor, he's a lot more animalistic, he's a lot more of a Spurg, and when he fights like a Spurg and he's not in control and he doesn't fight with, you know, tactical prowess, that's when Nightcrawler is pretty much at his best. He's able to avoid all of Wolverine's attacks. Even when Wolverine is using his enhanced senses to sniff out Nightcrawler, Nightcrawler is able to telegraph and block strikes from Wolverine while they're training. Now granted, yes, Wolverine does hold back in their fights, but on this occasion Wolverine was not suppressed. He was actually trying to kill Nightcrawler, and Nightcrawler was still able to use his agility and nimbleness and his teleportation powers to avoid the adamantium strikes from Wolverine, and Storm had to pretty much dive in and stop the fight because it was going to get out of hand. So even when Nightcrawler is faced against bloodlusted opponents, Nightcrawler is still able to move around, get around them, teleport, and he can definitely use his teleportation on them. So with that being said, as explained, who's gonna win? More often not, it is very close. If we're using in-character arguments, I gotta give victory to Nightcrawler. I'd say mid, maybe even high difficulty, just due to his nature and how he fights in combat. At first I was thinking Beast, but looking at the feats, unfortunately, yes, both combatants, there is that term called jobber, they do tend to lose a lot. But when you look at the feats and the performance, Nightcrawler just performs way better in combat in comparison to Beast. Beast is literally losing to nobodies. Beast just doesn't have anything substantial to put him on that level. So there's nothing he can do against the, you know, the teleportation. People say, oh well, what if Beast just grabs Nightcrawler and Nightcrawler teleports? Beast is still going to hold him. That's not true. That's not how Nightcrawler's teleportation works. When Nightcrawler teleports, he dematerializes his whole body. So even if you grab him in a headlock or a vice, or you restrain him, if once he teleports, he's basically phasing through your hands. So you're done. You can't get a grip on him. So he can get out of situations like that. And if Beast tries to do that, Nightcrawler can just port, leave him somewhere. Beast has no counter to the teleportation, and Beast just pretty much has his brawn, his physical prowess, and his animal senses. But Nightcrawler is no stranger to fighting combatants who use these type of methods to try and snuff out opponents. So more often than not, I gotta give victory to Nightcrawler with a good amount of difficulty. Nightcrawler, his teleportation is one of the best hacks going for him in this fight. Solid win con, and his other attributes like his agility and speed will keep him in the game and avoiding a lot of Beast attacks. And I see Nightcrawler taking victory more often than not. But anyway, thank you guys for watching. If you guys enjoyed this video, please leave a like, comment down below, and give me your thoughts down in the comment section. But yes, it's been real. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.